Hello, good evening, welcome. It's NOMEX Racing's F1 League. You should know by now, same time every week. And this week, have we got a race in store for you? As you can see, it is a Grand Prix from Belgium. It's Spa. That in itself is not particularly out of the ordinary, should we say. A favourite track of the drivers, of course, myself included. But you might be able to see it on the left. No qualifying tonight. That's because the grid has already been set, and it will be in reverse order of the championship. So the further down in the championship you are at this point in the season, the further up you'll be starting on the grid. So you'll be seeing the likes of Tim, Paddy, Reese, Josh, for example, all right down at the bottom of the grid, not only fighting each other to gain the positions, but also they've got to fight to get through everyone else as well. So this could be it normally is as well, a bit of absolute randomness. Add to that it's Spa, and there are overtaking opportunities, but there are also places that if you try and make the overtake, it's going to end badly. And because it's Spa, we could see anything from dry to absolutely torrential rain. It just adds to the craziness of tonight's race. I'm sure the drivers near the top of the standings are not huge fans of this sort of race. But as a commentator and as a spectator, I think they're fantastic. I think they're amazing. They've got 22 laps to get through. Here comes Paddy, who's going to be quite far down on the grid. Everyone just lobbing up now. Plenty of time, 9 minutes until start time still. So we'll see. We'll see how many come in and if anyone's bottled it tonight because they don't want to. They don't want to start near the back of the grid. That's while we're waiting, we can have a quick look at the current standings. I'm just making sure how many we've got in as well. It's 16 or 17, I think. No, it's 18 according to this. So I can tell you now that that Panda Man Gaming is going to be at the front of the grid, and Ace is going to be second on that front row. Ichi is going to be third. Immortal fourth. Giathanos will be fifth. Lee sixth. Shane seventh. Craig eighth. I don't know who that is. That's ninth because it's not the same as a gamer tag. Fishy Flopper will be 10th if he comes in. We'll have to see. Rumours that he might not be able to race tonight. Then we've got Chappie, Ice One, Pains, King Panda, Chuck, Josh, Paddy, and Tim. If Reese does join in, obviously, if you're a follower of the channel, you'll know that it's been a tough one for him recently. He's had some personal issues. And if he does come in, Tim will drop to 19th and Reese will be in 18th. Still, this is a bit of a mental one, and it's a chance for somebody to get a podium where they probably weren't expecting it. I think if I was one of the slower drivers, I'm not saying I'm not, but I mean in this league, I'd probably want rain tonight. It just makes overtaking that much harder, especially if you're at the front, front 2-3 rows. Rain would be massively beneficial to you. But we'll have to see if it does rain or not, or get mixed conditions. It's always a possibility. Belgium, as I mentioned, you can get anything. It can be sunny all the way through. It can be torrential rain the whole way through. You can get it sunny, rain, sunny, rain, rain, sunny. Whatever. Anything any sort of conditions you can get here. High, very high, in fact, chance of a safety car tonight. I would assume. Think about the fact that the faster drivers are going to trying to get through on those that traditionally are slower than them quite early in the race. So you might see some aggressive overtakes and some really aggressive defending too, which would make the likelihood of an incident increase significantly. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that too. You see more people coming into the lobby right now, and we'll have to see who's gonna have a good start. What's gonna happen? I think if I was there's two ways you can go about this. If you're Tim, for example, who's leading the championship, he's won all but one race, I believe. He's definitely going to be starting at the back of the grid. So he can do one of two things. He could try and get the fastest stop possible and get through on those drivers that are around him in the championship, and then start to make his way through the pack. Or he could kind of chill and just take his time in overtaking everyone. We know that the DRS here at Belgium, especially down the Kemmel Straight, is very, very strong. So that could be an option. I think if he goes early, there's a chance he DNFs early. The run to turn one is one of the shortest on the calendar. I don't know if it's the shortest or not. I'm trying to think if there's any that's even close to being a short. I mean, Austria's not exactly a long run, but I think it's longer than Belgium. But anyway, so it's really, really short run into turn one, and turn one's a hairpin with not a lot of room on the inside. In fact, no room on the inside. And if you go around the outside, you end up off the track, and you're going to struggle to get back on. So the start here is always pretty dodgy. Even if everybody's trying to be clean, which everyone will be, but even if everyone gets their line perfect and everything, there's normally, because of the lack of space, there's normally something that happens. Nobody's intentionally trying to take each other out yet, anyway. We'll have to see when we get into the race. Sort of start we have. I think this race, of course, favours those that start right at the front. But I think it's particularly harmful in terms of, or more difficult, someone like Ice One, who's usually in the top half of the standings, but like 7th, 8th or something like that, because he's got to defend against all those really quick guys behind him, who are like the ones that pull away in the championship, whilst also trying to get past those that are slower than him, but not by a huge amount. So it's very, very difficult for someone like Ice on this race. Yeah, he's been starting like 13th or something, and it's just really, really difficult from there. Because Belgium though, and the laps are so long, and plenty of chances to make mistakes. And the top drivers in the league tend to not make any mistakes, or very, very few. I think if I'm one of the top guys, yeah, I think I'm going to chill a little bit and then just work my way through the pack. I think that's better than going all out at the start. If you're not on the front or back row here at Belgium at the start, yeah, it's really, really dodgy because there's just so much traffic into turn one. Because then coming out of turn one, if you're side by side with someone going through Radian and Eau Rouge, then that can end up in tears as well. That can end up with a double DNF. You know, if you get 2-3 wide, and yeah, carnage will ensue. I can assure you of that. Other things to note about Belgium before we start, of course, are the fact that Belgium, despite being quite a technical circuit, because of the length of the circuit and the amount of time you gain on the straights if you run a low downforce setup, you have to run lower downforce than what would be optimal for the rest of the track, and therefore that increases the likelihood of a mistake through a technical sector. I hope that makes sense. It made sense in my head anyway. But yeah, so you've got that about Belgium, which is always, it's always there, you know, in your mind. We do have another corner on this track that I like to call Stroll. If regular viewers of the stream will know that the hairpin at the so the downhill left-hand hairpin at Bahrain, I like to call Stroll because he binned it in a wall there. There's one here at Belgium that he did. I think he did it in qualifying, and then he might have done it in the race like a day later at the same spot. But he definitely did it in qualifying, and it's in sector 2. So you come to the end of the Kemmel Straight. There's two right-handers. There's a slight straight, and then there's a left-hander before the really long sweeping left. Well, that first left-hander, Stroll just went in the wall. So we can call that Stroll tonight if you like. 16 in, and I'm not Nepenthes. 16th. No, I'm not. No, 16 in, and we're almost set to go. As you can see, King Panda is chomping at the bit to go tonight. I think so. I think a reverse grid is dangerous for King Panda because of his driving style. He's not dirty, but he's very aggressive. He's the right side of aggressive. Let me just make sure everybody's aware of that. But because he's an aggressive driver and he does get into, you know, battle side by side and stuff, because he's got to go through the like 16, 15 other cars. If it's a 19, he'll probably have to go like 14 as it stands now. It can lead to him getting into incidents. We saw that last season at Baku. This season at Baku, he didn't finish either. Not had a lot of luck at Baku, to be honest. But yeah, so it's kind of difficult for all those fast guys at the back because you've got to pick your moment where you're going to go through on somebody, and then you know you've got those that are at your pace around you. So you're also defending. It makes for just madness in the race, and you'll see. I'm just going to get on Google because this will annoy me until I know it. So I'm just going to type in shortest run to turn 1 in Formula 1. No, not the longest. We don't want the longest. We want the shortest. We got it. Maybe there. Longest slash shortest. No, I'm afraid we don't see the shortest run to turn 1. Belgium's got to be close. And Monaco's a short run to turn 1 as well. And there's others. Hungary's definitely more. Netherlands is definitely more. Azerbaijan's a short run to turn 1 from the start finish. But I still don't think it's as short as a run to turn 1 here at Belgium. I'll have to get on that. So, anyway, dry conditions, at least it looks like, at least for the time being. Blue in the sky, so that bodes well, at least. And everyone just sorting their fuel loads and everything out. Another thing about this, because it's reverse grid order, we don't do a qualifying session, and because we don't do a qualifying session, no matter how much practice you've put in, you're just going in a little bit cold against other, drivers in a competitive setting. So that also adds to the chaos a little bit, and you'll see that as we get underway. There you can see on the right, on the top right, there is the podium, and who's going to get it tonight? That is the question. I think you still make someone like, Tim, for example, you still make him a favourite to win the race, even though he's starting from the back. He's just that good. And those around him, Paddy and King Panda and Josh and, guys like this, I think they're still really favourites. It's 22 laps, and it's a long 22 laps too, with possibilities of a safety car. I think they're still favourites. Strategy will be massively important for those further down the grid. If they're able to get a cheeky undercut or time to stop right with a safety car, then they may well have a big advantage. Still waiting on everyone to get their setups done. Hopefully I don't have a disconnect like I did on in the midweek. That would be that'd be awkward. We're underway then. There we go, straight in. Not even a lap to warm up. As you can see, Ace has had a really good start into turn 1. We'll check tyres and strategies and everything. Oh, and there's a Sauber facing backwards. That's Timber. There you go. As you see, it is such carnage here in turn 1. Let's get the track map on. Track to me, if you look at it, so it's facing left, kind of looks like an Uzi. That's just me. There's Ice one with 3 seconds of penalties already. Let's actually check the tyres. We've got all sorts of strategies going on here. We've got softs, mediums, and we've got Tim there on the hard tyre, which I expect no less. It's just gone into first. Let's go down to Josh there. Oh, on the inside, just touching the grass. He's about to go. This is what I would call stroll. And we'll see if everyone gets through nice and easy. You see Tim already up to 10th. King Panda up to 7th. So that's a fantastic start for both of them. King Panda now up to 6th, as you can see there at the front of your screen. I don't know where to look right now. There's so much going on. There's Chuck in the Haas, just past Chappie. And there's no gap whatsoever. Oh, someone's off. That's Shane. Yeah, he's still going. He's off the track. He's still going though. Down into 16th position. Chuck up to 5th. I wonder if anyone else got damaged there. You see Shane definitely got damaged. Into the bus stop then. You might see people trying to outbrake one another. There's a Ferrari there. I think that's Chappie. Yeah, that's Chappie. He's decided to go into the pits. That's not the ideal line to get into the pits, but I think he saw that he took damage and decided that he would just pit in. So Payne's here. You'll see Aru's already on. Now, look at this. He'll slingshot himself. There's no point even defending this. It's such a powerful DRS zone. And you're basically guaranteed to pass. If you start getting that little toe. We've got another car off the track. That's Tim. And he doesn't have damage by the looks of things. He's on the hard tyre, so you can just reset, go again. You imagine he's going to be able to catch up to the back of the pack. I happen to know from previous races that, or races of this type, that he absolutely detests them. He hates going through the pack. He's definitely much a guy that likes to lead from the front, or at worst, second position. Oh, whoa, we've got a Mercedes in the wall. That's Ace and Immortal. Something's happened with Immortal as well. I think they're both still going. We've got a VSC. We've got wing damage for Ace. So, as I mentioned before, and as you see, Josh is carrying front left end plate damage there. And, yeah, just a virtual right now. Absolutely mental start to the race. 10 seconds for Josh. These are all going to be for speeding, I assume. For Joe Thanos, 10 seconds. Immortal, 10 seconds. King Panda's decided to come in. He's got a 3-second penalty. This is what I love about these races. You couldn't have them every week, because it'd be like, like more than one a season, because it'd be absolutely nobody would want to race. But just one of these a season, just it shakes things up so much. So Ice One currently in 5th position, doing all right here. Unfortunately for him, DRS not enabled because we're under virtual safety car conditions. Josh, by the way, he's had enough already. He's like, no, I'm out of here. Don't know if Ice One's going to be able to get past. Not quite. He's got Timber behind him, his teammate. Both in front of Giathanos. And this is the battle currently for 4th position. I think Timber's got a bit of an advantage, not having any penalties. Ice One got 3 seconds. Craig doing a good job, to be fair. Really good job. Holding on to that 4th. He's losing ground though to Chuck, who's in 3rd position, but he is having to defend, and he's not going to have DRS to defend with. Tim is now on the back of these battling for 4th. He's going to want to get through really quick. We're going to ride on board with Tim for a little while, see if he can close the gap and get through. Not going to be easy because everyone else in front of him obviously having... Oh, that's I saw some carbon fibre going flying there. Giathanos normally quite clean, but they're 4 wide through bus stop. Tim's had to slow down really early there. DRS here on the start-finish straight, not really that important. You're not really going to get past. It's going to be really close to have a really good run out of the bus stop. You see Craig running wide there into turn 1. DRS, even on the hard tyre, how quick Tim is. Now, he's definitely going to get through on Giovannos, you would imagine. He's going to get DRS, even though Giovannos will get DRS too. Lap 4 at Belgium, and he's gone up into 5th position now, on the back of Ice One. You'll notice with the soft tyre, it just falls off so quickly here at Belgium. Just the length of the laps. The actual tyre wear isn't too bad around here. It's just because of the length of the lap. They seem to drop off really quickly. So Tim 1.9 seconds behind Ice One, closing the gap. And then he's got a big one to close. Over 5 seconds. The pack's kind of spread out a little bit now, as everyone just settles in for the long haul. Oh, and that was timber in the wall, as you can see. That is massive front wing damage. Yep, that's really bad front wing damage. You see, it's not just end plate damage, but it's where the air enters, in between the gaps in the front wing. That's gone on only the left-hand side too, so that makes that even more tricky. Tim will want to get within a second to get that DRS. Ooh, that Giovannos struggling there. Craig's going to try and make a move. Got caution in sector 2. It looks like Nade actually in the Aston Martin. So Tim didn't get within a second, so he's not going to get DRS. Craig is within a second of Giovannos though. So on board with Craig. Jackie gets his first penalty of the evening. Always plenty of penalties here at Belgium. It's such a long technical track, and you said, oh, Giovannos really struggling now on those soft tyres. Just because of the technicality of the track, it's really easy to just lose a bit of momentum or concentration around one corner, and that's the first warning, and then you've got to reset. That's the second, and yeah, so penalties do add up. I'm surprised at the number of penalties for speeding under the VSC. That's a bit naughty. Obviously, like those with 10 seconds or 13 in Timber's case. When they're pitting, they'll just take that 10-second penalty. They'll sit for 10 seconds. Craig's dropped back here. He's not been able to hold on to but Tim to hold on to Giovannos. Tim now is very close. I kind of feel like you don't really want to go. You don't really want to go ahead here. You want to just hang back and get the DRS. Not this DRS here. I'm talking about at the top of the hill, down the straight, because because of how powerful that DRS is, it's well worth it. You see, 0.4 seconds as we ride on board with Tim. He's going to easily make the pass here. DRS enabled, that little beeping sound, that's crossing the DRS line. And there you go, straight through. And let's get on with Craig. He's got a chance here. 4 tenths back, but not quite. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough. He's struggling a little bit. We're on lap 6 of 22. Let's go to the front just for a few seconds. And here you see Payne's having a really good time. He's already pulled out almost a 10-second lead on Itch. And he's looking really comfortable. If a safety car comes out, he can pit in onto the hard tyre. He is looking really good at the minute. And I think that's going to be a lead that's difficult to close down without a safety car coming out. A little bit further down, you can see there's Craig once again, unable to get close enough to Giovannos. And Giovannos, to be fair to him, these are still on lap 6, by the way. It's just Payne's rolled over onto lap 7 there. To be fair to Giovannos, he's made these soft tyres work as long as possible We thought Craig would be passed by now, but he hasn't been able to get through. Giathanos is going to go another lap. He's got that 10 seconds, of course, Giathanos. It's not going to help him. But he's doing a really good job with these tyres, I must say. Both Mercedes in the top 10 as well. Oh, and that's 3 seconds for Craig. You saw there, he did try and cut a little bit too much out of the corner. He's going to get through on Giathanos this time, surely. And he's surely going to make that stick. Yeah, there you go. King Panda there. He's just 3.5 seconds back. So he could be in a position quite soon to make a pass. You see, he's closing the gap really quickly. So I think we'll stay on with King Panda. He's eating away at that gap. On soft tyres, of course. Let's check. He has already made a stop as well. So these softs will be okay for at least another lap or two. I think everybody's banking right now, maybe apart from Tim. Maybe even Tim himself, because of the gap. You see himself in first position. Everyone apart from Payne is gambling on a safety car, really. These softs aren't going to last very long, although he has closed the gap quite significantly to Giathanos. He's got it under 2.5 seconds, and he's gone through. Giathanos there losing track. Those soft tyres not doing any favours. He's just 2.5 seconds behind Craig in 6th position. That's another 3 seconds for Craig, so that's going to really give King Panda confidence. He's got the gap down to just 1.7, looking really, really quick. Let's go back up to 4th position here, and this is Tim getting really close to Chuck now. This could be a massive move in terms of the race. Tim will be on for a podium here. He gets past Chuck, and which is not too far down the road, you know. It's less than 4 seconds between Tim and Itch, and that's when you've got someone like Tim chasing you down. That's not a huge gap. That can be eaten away in a couple of laps. So you've got to be really careful and put your foot down. Painter's having a stupendous race right now. He's absolutely dominating. You see Tim not waiting for the DRS, straight through, caution in sector 2. I think that's Giathanos. Paddy's just passed him. Really struggling on those soft tyre. I think he's just got to come in and put the hard tyres on. There's no point destroying your whole race. He's still in 9th position. You can take that 10 seconds of penalty and have no penalties, come out, fresh hard tyres, and just run the rest of the race. It's even with DRS, Chuck closing the gap, but not by enough. Quickly down to 7th position. Here's King Panda then. That's 3 seconds for Ace, his first of the race. He's going to have DRS, and he's already past Craig, so this is going to give him a huge boost down this straight. And yeah, he's already opening up a nice little gap there. Giathanos has come into the pits, which is unsurprising. Took the 10 seconds. Josh has left the session. I thought he'd already left after he DNF'd, so that's a little bit surprising. You see Chappie and Shane right behind Ace. This is a 3-way battle for 9th position. Whoa, Chappie goes straight through. I think both Shane and Ace side by side had a little touch. Chappie got through quite easily. Let's get on with Ace. He's the only one out of the 3 because he was at the front at the time. didn't get any DRS, but he's managed to stay well on the back of Shane here. Six lap old soft tyres, that is very, very old tyre. You see Chuck, he's soft at 8 laps old. If you look at the stops, he's not made a stop yet. Timber goes through on Ace. Let's have a look at Chuck, who's in fourth. Surely he's really struggling to keep this tyre, well, to keep the car because of the tyre underneath him. Yeah, he's not risking full speed through there. Ideally in the dry you want to have minimal lift in the accelerator, or none at all, going up the hill there through Rouge and Radion, but he's having to lift off. Those tyres really struggling for him now. He hasn't got that many laps to go, so he could, at least theoretically, he could pit in like at the end of this lap and bolt those hard tyres on. You see Tim now half a second the gap between himself and second position, losing time all the time though to Paynes. It's going to take one of the all-time great drives for him to close that gap down without a safety car. Already going to have to be well over a second a lap that he makes. Both get to pit in, of course. Paynes has started lap 11, these are starting lap 10, almost at the start of lap 11. DRS here for Tim. He's doing a lot of favours, he's probably getting a little bit closer. Not even done that really, he's had a pretty poor exit getting to the last corner. Nice one's gone through on Chuck, who I believe, yep, Chuck in the Haas, he's in the pits. So DRS for Tim this lap, that's for sure. I think Paynes is on soft tyre, so medium tyre, sorry. So maybe medium soft could be the strategy. It'd be difficult. You'd have to go a long way on the mediums to make sure the soft don't drop off. But as you see, Tim has gone through now into second position, which means with the gap at 16.7, he's got to try and close down Paynes. This is Craig in 6th position at the minute. Not far behind Chuck, but struggling a little bit. I think everybody is struggling with tyre wear. Ace gets a 10-second penalty. See Shane on 19 seconds worth of penalties. He is really struggling this race. That's 10 seconds. I think he got that for speeding in the pit lane, and then three 3-second penalties. So that's at least 9 warnings for track limits. Everyone quite spread out now. Nobody within DRS of anyone else. Nade is the closest. He's catching Immortal here. Immortal just trying to get out of the way a little bit so he doesn't give Nade a toe. So you want Nade to slingshot past him. .6 a gap. It's not closing, really, is it? Paynes has got this in the bag, barring any drastic measures here. Oh, Paddy and Craig there. Craig's coming to the pits. Ice One's coming to the pits too. So Chuck and Paddy are going to move up positions. Sector 2, we've got somebody off. I think it might have been Giathanos, although I couldn't be sure. Not 100%. Let's get on with Ice One then. You see, he's got soft tyres on. Is he going to try to take those soft tyres 11 laps? Or yeah, that's... That's a big shout. Surely not. They are new. Craig has put new softs on as well, so they're going to take these softs really, really deep in terms of what they're capable of doing at peak performance. That Pains has increased the lead ever so slightly. He's certainly not being caught up. He's just doing a really good job, by the way. Yeah, he's lost 3.5 seconds to Tim, but he's 20 seconds in front of Chuck. Nice one then. Needs to get within DRS range of Paddy as soon as possible and help himself out a significant amount, as Chappie gets 3 seconds for a total of 6 right now. Nice one, just dropping back. You can see that was 1.1, now to about 1.3. Not going to get DRS on the start-finish straight, although he has had a really good exit of the bus stop there, and has a real chance. If he has a good exit again here, which he looks to have done, I think we could see Paddy dropping down to 6th position. There we go then. Chappie's coming to the pits, by the way. Here comes Ice One. Yeah, makes the pass. Again, as with most overtakes down that straight, it's quite an easy one to make, and you can't really defend against it. But look at him, he's already pulled out almost 2 seconds of a gap. Those soft tyres right now are going to be really quick. The only question is whether they can go at that sort of pace of a full race, which I don't think they can. Here's Chuck, who is currently trying to close down each. There's 24 seconds between 3rd and 2nd, and this is the battle for 3rd. No penalties for either of them so far. We can just quickly check the tyres. As you see, it's just on those new soft tyres. Chuck on relatively new mediums, so at least for the time being, it should have an advantage in performance. DRS will help Chuck massively, so he's not going to lose out too much because of performance, and then eventually you imagine that those softs will drop off. That'll be Chuck's opportunity to take 3rd position. He might even go for it now. He's very close. He's having a little look. He has made the pass. Very, very late there, but he made it. And Chuck now is in a position to gain a podium, which would be massive for the Haas team. That's very impressive. Further down, we can see this is the battle for 10th. Chappie with 3 more seconds worth of penalties, so not going to help him too much as Nade goes through on Shane there. But you always want to finish higher up on the track, regardless of what penalties you get. Let's see then, he's made the pass very early there, and so he's going to be able to pull away quite easily on Giathanos. Massive gap to Timber in 9th though. As Shane in the pits. So we'll go back up to the battle for 3rd position. We haven't really seen a lot of Pains this race, who's just dominated really, but we haven't seen much of him because he's been that good. He's been that dominant. Still, neither of the front 2 have pitted in, I don't believe. No, the only 2 not to pit in, the front 2, as King Panda puts in the fastest lap of the race so far. I think Paddy's going to try and get the hards to go the whole way just so he doesn't have to pit in, but he's going to be... I think the lowest he'll finish is 7th because of the gap between himself and Craig. I think King Panda's going to be looking to try and make a pass. We saw their itch going through into 3rd position. Nothing confirmed yet for Chuck, that's for sure. This is battle on track that between these two. He managed to pull away from Ice One. Now 5 seconds the gap between these two and Ice One in 5th position. So definitely just a direct battle between these two. Paines has just started lap 16 of the race. And still yet to pit. Or is he? No, I think he's in the pits now, actually. So, new race leader, and it's Tim. He's side by side with Paines here. Paines going to have a massive advantage. And I think, unless something drastic happens, I think that he's got this in the bag. Remember, Tim's still got to pit in. And there you go. Into 1st position. And I think he might just have this race won. Back down then to the battle for 3rd position, which is the one we've been following very closely. And Chuck looking to go through again. Unable to do so this time. Oh, and he just went and took too much out of the corner there. That 3-second penalty is going to be potentially crucial come the end of this race. And yeah, that could be a real kick in the teeth for Chuck. Always a chance that Itch runs wide and takes a penalty himself, but yeah, tough one. You see the gap between Itch actually and Tim as Paddy gets 3 seconds. And I think it's possible that these two could finish as high as 2nd. Of course, that's dependent on how long Tim takes in the pits. That 3-second penalty is going to be absolutely crucial, I think. I do think these have got a chance, though, of finishing 2nd and 3rd. A VSC. No, it's thanks for joining in. It's I'm watching. It's always nice to have viewers live rather than after the fact. We get a lot of viewers after the fact watching the race. Rather than live. We're on the same time every week. We also do Wednesday a race, which is Formula 2, if you're interested in that. And it looks like to me Chuck's got damage there. Is that front left end plate damage, by the way? I do believe it is. So that's going to have a significant impact in his ability to pass. As Tim's dropped back. He's far enough in front. He's made his pit stop. He's got the soft tyres on. He's probably going to get the fast lap, I would imagine, at some point here. On those soft tyres, he's left it really late, and he'll take 2nd position and the fast lap. It still keeps him in 1st position in the championship, which is the most important thing. His direct rivals have not really done a great deal this race. You got King Panda there in 5th, Paddy in 6th. Josh didn't even finish the race today, so big points scored for Tim, even though he's not going to win the race for only the 2nd time this season. I might be thinking, well, is this a procession for Tim? in terms of the championship, no, he's not really. He's not really dominated any race. It's been really close when he has won. Yes, Belgium. I expected maybe not this many penalties, but certainly expect penalties at Belgium. Such a long lap and a technical circuit, and you run less downforce than you really should do for like 80% of the circuit, just because of what you gain on the straight is more. You do run into a lot of penalties, but this has been a lot more than I imagined. And also, I think the fact that because we started reverse grid order in terms of the championship, so Tim, for example, started in 16th tonight. It's just made everyone's extra competitive to get through on each other and or maintain position. And it's made for a race quite full of penalties. No penalty tonight, though, has been for collisions. So the racing itself has been really, really clean. Just people have took too much out of corners and they just running a little bit too wide. And that's to be expected here at Belgium, to be fair. Paynes has put in a fast lap of the race. He's not giving Tim anything tonight. And this is a battle for sixth, by the way, between Paddy and Ice One. Ice One's in a good position here. We've got on the soft tyre. Let's just check the state of them. They're both on one lap old soft, so it's a direct battle with equal performance in terms of the tyres. Those 3 seconds from Ice One probably make the difference in the end, where even if he does get through, he probably won't hold the position after the race. Chuck's just gone down to 4th, so he's unable to clear by a second to get out of DRS range, and that's really, really hindering him. And let's see, Ice One, you would imagine, easy pass. Yep, Paddy's just basically moved out of the way from there, and that's all you can do, is just get out of the way. You can't defend there. They're going to get through anyway. Let's go back up to the battle for third then, as we're on lap 19 of 22. We've got caution in sector 3. That is a Mercedes. I believe that's Ace, because Paddy's still on the back of Ice One. But yeah, these two really want that last podium position, and you have to believe that it's going to go to Itch based on him not having any penalties. And Chuck was unable to break the gap for DRS, and that's been costly. He got those 3 seconds in a really weird place as well. At the end of the long Camel Straight, on the inside, going into the left-hander, coming out of the chicane. It's a really weird place to get a penalty. There's a lot of places where I expect people, like here, for example, through Radiant and Eau Rouge, you expect people to get penalties. They're going full out and really close to somebody, but let's get on board with Chuck and you'll be able to see he's not going to be passing here. He went so far down the inside. It's not a mistake that a driver of his experience and standing should be making. Let's just say that. We're past the point now, by the way, of a possibility of a safety car, which is good, and that means that everybody's going to go to the end. We've got 2 major battles going on right now, and that's Chuck and Itch for 3rd place, and Paddy and Ice One for 6th. There's a distinct advantage for both Itch and Paddy in these battles. because they have a 3-second gap due to penalties. But I imagine, and knowing the drivers like I do know them, it's going to be a case of them battling right until the end, because, as I mentioned previously, the pride of beating someone on the track is hugely important. Again, Chuck not able to get through. Let's see where this ass is. So they're down the start-finish straight into the hairpin of turn 1. Lap 21 of 22. Of course, we'll switch to the leaders right near the end. I want to see the race winner get over the line. 18.6 the gap. As far as I'm aware, Tim didn't get any fast lap so far. But, there's a way to see it. Hang on. I can't remember how to do it. But obviously I can go in the pause menu, but I'm not going to do that at this point in the race. Chuck unable to get through once again. Ice One is able to pass. And this is just a straight sprint between these two. Equal performance, tyres exactly the same. Same compound, same age of the tyre. So straight sprint for these two for 6th position, at least on track. Ice One has to keep going as well. If Paddy makes a mistake, then he's going to get 6th position. Or, you know, it just takes a little too much out of a corner from Paddy, or you know, whatever. Or just a bit of oversteer, and Ice One could really cement 6th place here. Paddy very close though, and he might be looking to try and pass straight away. This is not lap 22 for these guys, by the way. It's lap 21. They've still got another one to go, and that's 3 seconds for Tim. Probably pushing for the fast lap. There we go then, Paddy. 2 trailer park girls. He goes round the outside. He's going to try and cut off Ice One into turn 1, which he has done. Gap 4/10, so that's interesting. There's Chuck and it side by side. Chuck, 3rd position now, but it might be too little too late for him, just because of the 3-second penalty. Penalties for everyone tonight. Throwing them out left, right and centre. No safety car though. We've had 2 VSCs, but no full safety car, and I think that everybody will be as surprised as I am at that, and it'll be difficult for people to believe. Oh, Paynes has already finished, by the way. You see, and Tim is about to come into the bus stop. Well, what a fantastic win though for Paynes, and a real stroll in the park for him, and that's a big race win. There we go, there's Tim in 2nd position. He should just drop back here, and it's probably the sensible thing. Doesn't have to push. Make sure you get over the line, because as you see, Chuck's going to take 3rd on the track, but Itch is going to go straight up into 3rd position because of the penalties. Here comes King Panda, and here's Paddy, a nice one. Paddy's going to take it, I think. Yep, 6th on track. Nice one's going to get 7th. That's a decent showing. Githanos 11th, Nate 12th, Immortal 13th, and Ace 14th, all confirmed, all being lapped by Paynes. This is Timber. There's quite a gap between himself and his teammate, but decent points actually for the Saubers, 7th and 8th. That's a good showing, and that's going to help in the constructors. So a good finish for the team there. Here comes I believe this will be Craig, and last but not least to finish, but with points and actually ninth position was Chappie there. Did well. Ninth position in the end. Craig down to 10th due to the penalties. Driver of the day goes to Tim, at least from EA and Codemasters. And now I would normally, especially given that there's been no qualifying, I'd normally agree there. He's gone from the back of the pack to second, which is a phenomenal effort. But I don't think I'm going to give it to Tim tonight. I don't think I am. Let's just see everyone celebrating. There you go. Pains. Rightfully delighted with that. I actually think my driver of the day, of course mine's not official at all. By the way, Itch started in second, finished third, had all those fast drivers up on him and still managed to get a podium. My driver of the day is actually Pains. He went from 10th to first on the grid in terms of where he started and he finished. And he got the fast lap and he incurred no time penalties. So really, really, really strong effort there from Pains and fully deserving of his race win. I did tell you though, it was going to be carnage tonight. I'm not surprised. The reverse grid always does that. It's one special event as a spectator you look forward to all season, but as a driver you absolutely hate. Unless, you're near the front of the grid, then it gives you a chance to experience the race from a different perspective. But that's the one reverse grid race for the season, and I'm sure plenty of people will be happy to hear that. Next week we will be excuse me, we will be back, and if I just get the calendar up just to confirm that it's not a special event now. It's China next week, so make sure you bring your face masks. You never know, and that should be a good race. China's a good one for overtaking. There's 2 or 3 places in particular I can think of, especially towards the end of the lap. You've got 2 very long straights and then the left-hander for the start finish. All very good overtaking opportunities. But that's for next week. It's all about tonight, and it's all about that absolutely fantastic performance from all the top 3. Pains on his race win, Tim going from the back of the grid to second, and Itch managing a podium position there in the Williams. It's a very, very nice performance. Just before I go, I'd like to thank Ice One for bringing me into the league as commentator. Been doing it for a while now. Every week I've thanked him, and every week I will continue to thank him. And thank the boss man Ace, because he's the main man, and it's up to him whether I commentate or not, and he allows me to do it, and he allows me to do it in my own style, and bring my own perspective to the race, and I massively appreciate him for that. Last thing, Wednesday we've got the F2 League. That's 8 PM UK start time for qualifying, so don't forget to tune in for that. China next week on Sunday will be the same start time. That's 7 PM UK for qualifying. We'll have a qualifying session next week. And that's all I've got to say. I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope the week flies by for you, and you can get to next weekend and enjoy your weekend coming up. So I'll see you all later, and have a great evening.